require pictures with the proclamations.
Well, good morning, folks. This is the Friday, August 16th, 9:30 meeting of the Lorain County Board of Commissioners. Let's commence by standing to pledge allegiance to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Riddell.
Here.
Commissioner Moore.
Here.
Commissioner Hahn.
Here,
We have a quorum. Today we have proclamations for 3 people that are retiring from Job and Family Services. We have Jennifer Key, which is a fiscal officer, 36 years of service. Christine Lahita, fiscal officer, 25 years of service. And Lori Mendeville, which is case manager, investigator, supervisor for 32 years. And she was unable to attend today, but Amy Price is here for Barb Tanis as well.
Amy, do you want to help us with the presentation? We're going to embarrass you by taking a picture with some old people, but that's all right.
Oh, no, these are great people.
Not talking about us.
Oh, my God.
Now I just insulted.
Welcome to government.
Well, good morning, Commissioner Riddell, Moore, Hung, Attorney Petticord, and Ms. Upton. Barb did want to be here today, but she was otherwise disposed. She's with other JFS directors around the state at a training. So I am Amy Price. I'm the CSCA administrator. I am very honored to be here today with Chris Lahita and Jen Key, Laura Mandeville as well. She had pre-approved vacation, so she's out of here right now. So this is Christine Lahita and this is Jen Key, and I've been very privileged to be able to work with them over the last 2 years.
Very good. So what is it that you've done for all those years?
36 years ago, yesterday, I
Oh.
walked into this building as a clerk, and I've worked my way up to fiscal officer, and I've met some great people along the way, and I really appreciate all the opportunities you've given me.
Fantastic.
Thank
As
you.
the fiscal officer, she's directly below the fiscal administrator, so
Oh.
she really worked her way.
Oh, yeah.
Very good.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I started in January of '99 and worked my way up to fiscal supervisor at CSEA. But enjoyed it the whole time. It's great working there.
terrific.
Okay.
It's great to have that longevity and that experience. That's what makes our county great. And your department, JFS, has been honored, many times. And so now we know why.
We'll just
Got here.
yeah, we'll give it to her to give to
Okay.
her.
Go ahead. Your shining days. Okay.
She's on vacation.
Everybody ready? Cheese.
That's what West Virginia says. Perfect.
Okay, now you can officially retire. We have it on film.
Thank you, thank you.
Congratulations.
And please don't take any offense, we're gonna squeeze the last little bit of hours out of them and get them back to work.
That saves us having to kick you out and go back to work.
Thank you very much.
Thank Resolutions, ready? Number 1, investments.
Move to approve.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
yes.
Number 2, appropriations.
Move to approve.
Second,
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
yes.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Number 3, transfers.
Move to approve.
Second,
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
yes.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Number 4, advances, repayments. There were none. Number 5, requisitions.
We have 3 pages now. Casey dropped another page off.
Yes.
Okay.
Does Victor have that page? He does.
Yes.
Okay, good deal. Okay, we have page 1 of 2. And you can see one item in there at the auditor's office. Developing a fully functional website is an expensive proposition, but hopefully those that need it appreciate it. Page 2, Victor. And page 3.
Probably trying to find it.
There we go.
There it is.
This was a last minute addition, and I'm told that after several official actions of the Board of Commissioners and staff, this is actually, we're gonna write the check. This is our process we're trying to expedite, so. And this represents fees that the developer paid for the TIF and so forth that we reimburse because the TIF is ours, but the way we require it, the developer has to front the money so that he's got some skin in the game.
Move to approve pages 1, 2, and 3.
Second?
Any further discussion? Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
I'll be a yes with an abstention on 1422, Madam Clerk.
1422.
An abstention or no?
Oh, abstain, always abstain. Discussion's over, but thank you.
Number 6, travel.
Move to approve.
Second,
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
yes.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Number 7, bills.
Page 1 of the general fund. Victor, and we have page 2. And there's 2 pages, page 3 and 4 are the special revenue. Can we have page 3? There we go. And page 4.
Move to approve pages 1 through 4.
Second,
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
yep.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Number 8, county commissioners may recess an executive session to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official, along with any other matters as specifically identified by motion in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code 121.22G 1 through 8. Unless expressly stated otherwise, during executive session, matters discussed in executive session are designated by the county commissioners as confidential. Because the confidentiality of such matters is necessary for the proper conduct of government business, any disclosure outside of executive session is prohibited by Ohio Revised Code 102.03B. While in executive session, the county commissioners may discuss and deliberate on the matters at issue, but no votes may be taken until open session resumes.
And we will be going into executive session.
We are?
Yes. Not now, but, so we will hold on the personnel summary sheet till after that.
There is no personal summary sheet, though.
Ah, excellent.
Okay.
Then we can move on.
Number C, public comment on agenda items. I didn't know what we had.
And we have none.
Okay. Is there any old business?
Old business. Mr. Petticord, we had an issue at our Tuesday meeting, and I just wondered if you had had a chance to research the situation and would like to report back to us.
Sure, well, Brian Baker, had put in quite some time ago a request. Brian Baker put in a request for emails and text messages for a number of people, for a period of about 4 months. I knew there are 2 people in my office who handle public records requests. I knew that the emails had been collected because from the IT side, my understanding is the county IT side, it's relatively easy to pull emails. So Eric Gamba, who's the person in my office who's working on this request, had collected the emails for a while. I thought those had been produced to Brian, because we've had them for a little bit. According to Brian, they have not. I don't know why. Eric is on vacation, I think, until today. So after the meeting, I'll talk to him and find out why he hasn't done it piecemeal. Producing text messages are much more complicated because, again, according to IT, unless you are using SMS texting, they have to be taken, texts have to be taken one by one off of a phone with a screenshot. My understanding from my office was that that process was completed approximately on August 9th. And the text messages from the requested individual were sent to our office at that point. I will talk to Eric when he returns from vacation and find out where he is on the legal review of those text messages, and then hopefully we will get them out. Hope taste.
Thank you.
Yep.
Is there anything else on our old business? No. Board business. Number 9, authorizing county's pledge of non-tax revenues to support the issuance of economic development revenue bonds of the Lorain County Port Authority to finance commercial facilities and public infrastructure within the Lorain County. Authorize the execution of a cooperative agreement relating to the bonds with the Port Authority, authorizing and approving an official statement as necessary, and authorizing and approving related matters, and this is for the Forever Affairs project.
Jim, you want to bring your team up and give us a little background? Victor, do we have some slides?
You know where I'm at, right? And he's moving.
I don't know if you want to move that over by the guys talking, because you really can't see it.
Well, they're gonna put it up on the screen.
Oh, are they? Oh,
Because he's
okay.
got it. He's got the same thing.
Oh, okay.
There it
Oh,
is.
there it is.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner Riddell, Commissioner Moore, and Commissioner Hung. We're here today, part of the Fairs Forever project. This is the construction of the new Ross Exposition Center at the fairgrounds. It also includes the construction of a horse show arena and a beef barn. The Fair Board requested the Port Authority to investigate funding for this project, and the Port Authority has agreed to provide $10 million worth of funding. As part of this, the county would enter into a cooperative agreement with the trustee and the Port Authority to back up the payments of this project for the Fair Board. We think that this will be a very, very, very good opportunity for the fair. It provides them the opportunity to have year-round income on this building, and other counties that have done this have been very successful. I'll let John and Doc talk. Go ahead, John.
Good morning, Commissioner Riddell, Commissioner Moore, Commissioner Hung. Pleasure to be here to express our thank you for the support of the Port Authority in working with us on this project and all that they've done, and your support throughout the project since we started this. This project here is something that we see that price of doing business is hard to do business 1 week a year, weather dependent. So we think this will be a good addition to be sustainable in the future. Fair's largest attended, longest running event in Lorain County, around 178 years, and we'd like to continue that. We want our children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren to be able to have the same opportunities that we've had to learn and grow, socialize, and get into some life skills, and to have lifelong friends also. A lot of our friends that come to the fair, that's where we've at when we were kids growing up, and we want to provide the same opportunity. This event center, I think, will also have, not just for the fair, but for the county and the region, an economic impact. We see that as bringing more venues in, larger venues, and something that can be utilized year-round. Heat, air, warming kitchens, restroom showers, and we've already got probably, before it's even starting putting the structure up, we're probably looking at 10 to 12 people that are already interested in renting the venue. So we've got a lot of positive feedback, and we appreciate your support and hope for passage of your resolution. So Doc Spring is here with me today also. He's I guess a wingman for business and PR. We've worked together well, and he's a volunteer that meets with our committee, which meets every Monday night. There's nothing in this project that the committee has not touched, from fundraising to floor plans to coming to working with the board and working with our state reps and senator. We've got support out of the state from the one-time funding. So we're very appreciative of all the people and the support that we have here throughout the county, whether it be the private sector or the government side. And Doc has been also not just a volunteer, but a major donor also. So countless hours he's spent with this committee, and we've got a whole group of that. There's probably 6 to 8 regular directors that meet with this committee, along with that many volunteers and professional people. So I'm open for any questions, and Doc, if you have anything to add.
Just like to add the tremendous support that the commissioners have shown the fair in the past. Greatly appreciate it. The project would not be moving forward without your support and continued. It is a whole county project, and we expect everybody from the county and the region to benefit. John mentioned about some of the events that are talking to us. One event is in excess of 10,000 people. So it's not just a 100-person wedding party kind of deal. This will be a commercial activity, something that everybody in the region will enjoy, and we welcome everybody out. The other thing I'd like to say before I'm finished is we do have another opportunity this Thursday and Saturday to support our 4-H members purchasing their livestock at auction, and I will leave a few of these at the back of the room for you to pick up later.
Yeah, we're all getting the letters.
Is there a website people can visit, Doc?
There is a website. There is also ability that, so Teresa's daughter is showing, and the animal.
Daughter, but that's
Yeah, okay. The animal sells. You can actually, you didn't buy it, but you can add money on to the purchase price, and you can do that online. So it makes it very easy for somebody who gets 100 letters to say, I'm just going to give them all $100 and go online and give them. You do not have to be there. Although it's a pretty entertaining event kind of thing. We expect it to be a little bit bigger event, air conditioned, next year in a bigger building. So we're looking greatly forward to that. But yes, it's all there.
Well, thank you both for your work. It's easy for the commissioners to support. You folks have your public service side too. John's former New Russia Township trustee. Doc, I just saw you the other night at Wellington Township. So obviously you've got the confidence of a lot of people, and that makes it easy for us to have confidence in you and the project.
Well, thank you. And you asked about a website. We do have fairsforever.com. That's our campaign for funding. And you'll have listed donors, ways to pledge, donations, in-kind services. They're all on there. And we just got an update. If you had any interest or saw in the other articles in the newspaper we've done, we had a 55,000 square foot event center. Is now turned to 67,000 square feet. Bidding come in with Janata Herner with an alternate that was still less than all the other base bids. So as part of construction, we went ahead and expanded the building now. As we found out, some of the other ones are already expanding that have been built in other counties and communities. So we took advantage of that and getting it done. And we appreciate it again, and thank you for all your support.
Kind of an appropriate time too. I understand something's starting on Sunday down at the fairgrounds.
I would tend to believe it's going to start, and everybody I walked in, I tell them I have my target on my back.
Yeah.
But,
It's nice to see you guys get a headline this week instead of us, okay?
Hey, publicity's publicity.
Exactly.
Thanks for pushing us off the front page.
Yeah.
But we will be ready on Monday, or Sunday, actually, when we start. It'll be a
Okay.
first official day, which on Sunday, as we started doing this, to help accommodate some of the other events at the fair, we started with our harness racing, and we won't be completely set up with rides and all the vendors, but it's an official fair day, so we can have the harness racing in order to do that. And there is no admission fee on this first Sunday of the fair. So come out, see what we're doing, see what's going on, and we'd love to have you.
I would assume that you're gonna suspend the construction, keep the dust and noise down a little bit during the fair?
Yes, the construction phase, site work has been done, pretty much 98%. We've got some tie-ins to do with construction. Site work was done by KMU Trucking and Excavating, and Janata Herner's gonna be doing the construction on the building. The state permits are ahead of schedule on us, which is great, because we have a very aggressive time schedule to be ready to open August 1st of 2025. So still, we're hoping to be there on the end of September, early October, under cover for bad weather in November. So it's very, very aggressive timeline to get this kind of project done.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
I'm sure we will, so you might as well stay at the microphone.
I'm just gonna stay here, yeah.
I don't think you two want to stand next to him. There's might be some. You know, when lawyers are at a microphone, you always want to walk away.
Microphone, you gotta watch out, sure.
So, did you read that already?
I read it and you had discussion, there's been no motion
No.
or second.
Okay, well, do we want to make a motion? Do we want to have a discussion first in regards to the
Generally,
language?
generally,
Because I don't want to.
a motion, then a second, and a discussion.
Okay, then I'll make a motion to approve the resolution. Okay, Teresa.
Second?
Okay, now let's talk about the language of this, because that's what I have a concern with.
Commissioner Moore,
Aye. Well, no.
he's
We're in discussion mode.
that's right, discussion.
I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
He was saying yes.
Yeah, we're
with
all
the-
First you wanted it on there, so we got it on there. Now we can talk. Okay, so let's talk about the language right now, because this is what the issue is. right?
Sure.
You want me to talk about it, or do
I mean, who wants?
I'll defer to the.
Well, I
to
got
the
two lawyers that don't
prosecutor.
want to talk now.
the issue, first of all, it's a very complicated deal, and there are a lot of moving parts. What's important for this board to understand, and Jim and I and bond counsel are all in agreement on this, what you're really being asked to do is approve the cooperation agreement.
The cooperative agreement, yeah.
Okay, cooperative agreement.
Yeah.
Jim and I have looked at that agreement for the last couple of weeks, bond counsel's okay with it. We believe the agreement is in final form. However, for reasons of how the deal is structured, I think it's fair to say that that agreement won't be executed until such time as the rest of the deal documents are done.
Correct,
Is that
correct.
fair?
Nothing will get executed until the documents are all finalized,
So-
including that document.
So the document that you've been given as the cooperative agreement is what we believe to be a final agreement. You're being asked to approve that cooperative agreement, which is a necessary predicate for Jim to finish what he needs to do and the Fair Board to finish what they need to do
Correct.
to get the rest of these documents together. If in fact something happens that is unforeseen in that process and the cooperative agreement needs to change, then we're gonna have to come back and take a different vote. So this is a little bit different here because generally speaking, when you approve a document, it's gonna be executed that day. You're not being asked to execute it that day, you're being asked to approve it as is.
Right.
So that it can be executed in a timely manner. If it has to change, we'll bring it back and have you vote on it again. And I know that's complicated, but that's because there are guys like Jim who do commercial work and bond lawyers who do stuff like this, and they make it complicated.
Yeah, we make we like to make things complicated. It's job security. So there are several factors that are still going to have to happen, and I think I've discussed them with some of you. We have a ratings call that we have to do with the rating agency. As soon as you do this, as soon as you approve today, we will then schedule the ratings call with the ratings agency. And the way all bond deals go, just to let you know, just for education, which you may know, the bond deals are priced like 3 days before we close because it's a market, it's a regular market, and they're trading every day, and so we get the price on like 3 days before.
Okay, well, let's,
Would you like to address the pledge of the non-tax
Sure,
revenue issue?
sure.
Correct.
Currently, the county has pledged the payment. It has one pledge against the non-tax issues currently. If Casey, correct me if I'm wrong. It's the visitor center on 58. So, and I think, and we probably have 25 million a year, 20 million a year worth of non-tax revenues?
You're in the ballpark.
In the ballpark, that's what I figured. So, and the payments on this, just to let you know, are 700,000 if they didn't pay anything. It's like 714,000 a year debt service, what we're expecting. So, so the county would be asked to make up the difference from whatever they could pay to what they couldn't pay. And of course, as Mr. Petticord knows, this is subject to annual appropriation. So you are basically pledging to pay the 714 this year if they paid, next year if they didn't pay anything, because the first payment's not due till next year. So every year, the commissioners will have to approve this, the way it goes.
But we're not going to pay it because
Well, you're not going to pay it because they're going to make about 600. They're going to make about 750,000 just from the rent of this, and they make I don't know how much off of the fair.
Right. No, that's what I want to make sure. It's almost like we're basically co-signing, but the bottom line is by us assigning or pledging our non-tax revenues, we can get better rates and better finance and
Oh yeah.
it rates better, which
better
means
rate.
saving money on and not giving the money to the bond council.
The Fair Board also in this agreement agrees to pledge to you all of their revenues.
Right. I just
including
want
all
this
the
out.
revenues from the fair and the revenues from this building. So.
Yep.
So that, and I've checked with several people, Jim, is it still correct to say that we've done probably over the decades, probably over $100 million worth of these types of guarantees in order to get a better bond rating for the entity, in this case, the fair. Our bond rating is good and it lends value. So we're basically lending our value to the Fair Board so they can get a better rate.
Yeah, because also with the rating, they will take off of your rating from that. There'll be one grade lower. So if you're AA+ or whatever you are, they'll be A+.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and we did this. I had to do this back with the Justice Center.
Yeah.
The difference is you're doing this all online now, right? On YouTube or Zoom.
They do a lot of it on Zoom. Yeah. All Zoom. We don't have to go to New York.
I hate to say like back then, but I got to fly into New York with Cortez, and we got to go to Fitch's, Moody's. But the beauty of that is you got to meet these guys face to face.
Yeah.
And they got to get a feel about the county while you're there promoting the county, because you are pretty much the cheerleader. Say, take a chance on Lorain County, and those days I guess are gone. But just flashbacking was, I think we went down there just a few months after 9/11, and it was like they were still bringing people out when I was there on the floor watching. So, but now it's all on Zoom.
No, it's all on Zoom and
saving taxpayers money on travel expenses, right?
Yep, definitely.
So, and lastly, I get to ask this question because I think it'll allay some concerns that some may have is.
Sure.
Those decades and those over $100 million worth of guarantees, how many times have we had to step up and write the check?
0.
Yeah.
0, because we only guarantee good people, right?
Yeah. This credit is the cash flow analysis on this credit is very strong. We did it. In any deal that the Port Authority does, the main question is, can they service the debt? I tell this people all the time. How are you going to pay it off? Pay the debt. And the cash flow analysis is very strong on the Fair Board, and it's actually very strong on just this building by itself, not including the fair itself. So all the analysis that's been done on this to see how they can service the debt has only been based on the revenue projected to come from the building itself.
Very comfortable. Any other questions from the board?
Well, it's no secret. I've been pushing for a convention center for years. This is the closest thing we're going to get. So I just want to say
about 11 miles south.
That's okay, but you know what? I love the photos. I love the presentation. You guys are doing a great job, and I was out there yesterday looking, and I think that once again, like last year, we're gonna have to have some shuttle service issues on parking, but it sounds like you guys are on top of it. So, looking forward to seeing everybody at the fair.
Call the vote.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
Congratulations, and that means if we don't see you again, that means everything worked out great, right?
We'll see you on Thursday.
I plan it. I'll be right there in all the straw in the pit, because that's the last time you guys will be all fancy next year with this.
Number 10, dog kennel. Award a contract to Williams Brothers Builders, Inc., Elyria, in the amount of $1,425,000 for Lorain County Dog Kennel Addition Project, which includes alternates. 2 bids were received on August 2nd, this being the most responsive, complying with specifications. Issue notice to proceed effective on or before August 22nd and complete said contract on or before 300 calendar days. Authorize administrator to notify the auditor to release retainage at completion of project, and this will be paid from the capital improvements account.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Okay. Would you like to go over the bidding process, please?
Absolutely, Commissioner. So, as most know, any construction project that exceeds $75,000 requires us to go out for a competitive bid. The competitive bidding process is outlined in the Ohio Revised Code. So we hire an architect. That architect puts together a scope of work and includes in a specification document all the necessary forms that the bidders are going to have to complete and return to us. Real estate tax disclosure, non-collusion disclosure, the fact that they pay their taxes and that they abide by all the federal employment laws. All that information is included in a specification book. The county is required to publicly advertise all of its construction projects. Generally, we do that in 2 ways. We still publish our notice in the local newspaper, whether that's the Chronicle or the Journal. We also post our notice to bidders on our website. In this particular case, we had 7 bidders that showed up to the mandatory pre-bid meeting that was held at the kennel. And we do these mandatory meetings to make sure that the bidders understand what the scope of work is and have them ask any questions so that then we can answer those questions. And we do that in writing so that all bidders can receive the same answer to the same questions. We are required to have a public bid opening. So the day and time of that public opening, folks that have bid can come to the public meeting. When the bids are received, we don't open them until time of opening. They're opened in front of everybody that's in the room. The bidders also have an opportunity to check other bidders' bids. Sometimes that gets a little hairy because folks don't like to give out their information, but it's a public process, and that's what we're required to do. So after the bids are opened, those bids are reviewed by both the architect and staff to make sure that each bidder has complied with our requirements. And then we make a determination to recommend what we consider the lowest and best or responsible bid. And so that's what we're doing here today. So out of the 7 folks that did attend the mandatory pre-bid meeting, we received 2 bidders. One was Williams Brothers, the other was Dunlop Johnson. Williams Brothers Builders is a local contractor. They've done quite a bit of work for the county over the years. They've done excellent job. And so here we are requesting that the board award a contract. Hopefully that answers most questions.
Good.
That's a condensed analysis of how we go through the bidding process.
Just one thing, the 7 bidders, were those all in the general trades, or were some of those in the HVAC and?
You know, I would say, well, 2 out of those 7, one was Builders Exchange and one was Dodge.
Okay.
So, you know, they pay for and receive our bidding documents, and then they post them out to all of their,
Okay.
their customers. So, and then out of the others, it looks like, I would say 3 were probably general contractors. 3 out of that 7.
Okay. As part of our process, sometimes when the ratio of bids that we get to the plans that were taken out, if it's off a little bit, we probably should do some follow-up and for our own benefit, because it's our benefit to have more competition than less.
Absolutely.
So just do a little bit of follow-up, and if you find something interesting, then hold your process so that we do that. But certainly, we got 2 good bids, and they were close. They're less than 10% apart. So, you know, everything here is satisfactory.
And you'll notice also the resolution, We received about a $300,000 private donation for the dog kennel project. We also have a $250,000 grant that we received towards the dog kennel project. So there's a lot of folks that are compassionate about the dog kennel and helping out the animals, and I think this is an awesome project that we're finally able to complete. The kennel right now, I had to jot down these notes, but we currently have about 34 kennel spaces in our kennel. And this project, we're gonna add about 20 more. The process that we're gonna look at doing is we're gonna have what I call the dirty area. So when dogs are first brought into the kennel, they're quarantined, so that we can, monitor them, monitor their behavior, monitor them for illness and those kinds of things. Then they would go into the main kennel area. We have a separate wash tub, cleanup area, so we can get the dogs cleaned up and prettied up, and then they would go into the adoption side of the house, which I call the clean area, so that when folks do come looking for dogs that are adoptable, we have the ability to have a nice clean dog, and we have some nice rooms that they can set and try to socialize with the dog and encourage folks to adopt out of the kennel.
But there's also safety. The way you design this is when we have a problem dog,
Yes.
so that our employees are safe and
Absolutely.
the
So
way,
general-
that was the whole process. I think it was what I liked about the project was we were changing the process of delivery coming in,
Right.
and the whole process to adoption, if
so
that's
they-
where we
how
go.
they get
So,
through-
right,
through
how
the
they move through it.
process.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and we, like I said, we have the quarantine areas. This time of the year, we have a lot of problems with parvo. We do vaccinate the dogs. We wait the 3 days because we are required by law to do that. The dogs do not belong to the county until after that 3-day stay. They still belong to their owner. So that gives the owner an opportunity to come and reclaim their dog.
Any other questions from the board?
Yes, Mr. President. So Karen, just to recap for the public, this really has been a labor of love on your part and this board's part. When Commissioner Moore and I came in 2021, there was action from the previous board to act on the dog kennel issues that they pulled back at, sort of at the end. So this is for the public, so they know it's been 3.5 years in the making, and we're finally getting there. Can you give the public an idea of when you're going to start the work and what type of time frame the work will be underway?
Yes,
And how
absolutely.
long will it take?
We are issuing a notice to proceed, I think it's September 10th. Is that right, Teresa? Is that in your resolution?
It's August 22nd, to be
August
honest with
22nd,
you.
that's even better.
Yeah,
And then we have a
looks like-
300-day completion.
Well, that's their goal, right?
Yeah, not a goal. It's in the book.
If it's in Karen's book.
It's in the book. Well, and I mean, that is considered part of the bidding process, Commissioner. Because as Commissioner Riddell knows, the timeline for completing a project costs a little bit of something. So if you're gonna accelerate your schedule and condense the number of days to complete, it costs a little bit more money. So that's why we make sure that in our bid specifications, we tell the bidders how many days they get to complete the job. And they receive that notice to proceed, and then they're put on record that they have X number of days, in this case, I think it's 300 days, to complete or else.
Yeah, and
So-
I appreciate you answering that, because I got a call last night on that and the other resolution that we have. And that was one of the questions, is how long it's gonna take and, the whole process. So, thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Any other questions?
Anything further from the board? Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes,
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Number 11, waiving the adoption fee of $80 for dogs to Lorain County Dog Kennel from August 16th, 24 to the end of business on November 1st of 24. Due to the kennel being at capacity, the cost to take your forever pet home during this time will be the dog license fee in the amount of $26.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion?
Yes.
Okay, you're up again. Could you tell us, we talked about this on Tuesday and asked you to you know, come up with some kind of a plan and a timeline. I'd like to hear how it ended up this way.
So it took a couple of phone calls with our dog warden, Tim, and we had some discussion with regards to the best course of action to take. So originally, when he heard about waiving the adoption fees, he was concerned because he thought that that included the dog license fee, which it does not. So when we talked about the fact that anybody who is adopting a dog will still have to purchase a dog license and go through the process of applying for and presenting their personal information, he was much more comfortable with that. So he is on board and is supportive of it. We talked about the length of time, and he and I both agreed that 45 days is a good place to start. And if we do need longer, then we would come back to the board and request an extension to that. So, and I'm sure the board knows that any dog that is housed in a cage for an extended period of time can can become unadoptable, let's put it that way. So what we're trying to do is encourage people to come into the kennel, adopt a dog, provide it with a forever home, and prevent that dog from becoming unadoptable. So I believe this was done maybe once before, many years ago, Teresa. So I think dog warden Tim and I are both on the same page, and that we would like to at least have an opportunity to see how this goes.
Very good. Further discussion?
Yeah, I have no problem going all the way to the end of the year, till December 31st, so.
Well, one thing I will chime in on
Yep.
is dog licenses are good for 1 year.
I'm not talking
Right.
about licenses, I'm talking about the tax, or
The
fee, whatever we
adoption
call it.
fee,
Yeah.
So,
No, the license, we're not waiving.
right, we are in the
I know,
process.
All right, I know
Yeah,
that.
we are in the process of updating our fees. So Casey and I have been working on this for a few months now. We have Maximus reviewing the cost of operating our kennel to determine what our fees should be. I personally think our fees are really high, but according to the Maximus report that was done, 4 or 5 years ago, maybe? Yeah. That's where our fees should be. So we do need to have some additional discussion with regards to the fees and what our ability is to adjust them as we move forward. But we cannot do anything as far as determining those fees until February. I think that's the way the Ohio Revised Code is outlined.
Well, when we had the conversation on Tuesday, I was concerned because if the kennel is full and we can't take new dogs, okay, then what do we do? Where, you know, what's the alternative? So it makes sense that we keep moving the pets through the kennel system. And I think that 45 days is okay. I'm particularly sensitive to some folks who may have adopted a dog and paid the fee in June of this year, and, you know, now we're doing it for free, but at this point, the kennel is full, and we have to do something, and I would think that the alternative would be a little less humane, so, you know, I think this is a good compromise, and one of the things that came to mind just yesterday was, I wonder if we could adopt a policy that says the longer the dog is there, the lower the fee is, to kind of encourage, although I imagine the adoption is very personal. People want a certain kind of pet, and they don't want just any pet. But if some of the pets are staying there a long time, we ought to be asking ourselves why.
I think that's a great idea. You'll see me jotting down that note, so we'll investigate and see how we can implement that. And I mean,
I'm sure
really,
the warden would have some insight into that.
absolutely. I think that, I mean, at the end of the day, all we're trying to do is what's best for the dogs that we have to house at the kennel. It's generally, you know that if it's a pure breed or a small dog, they're a little bit more.
Well, those are the bidding process,
Yes,
or auction
you know,
it
then there's
becomes.
everybody out there. But then you have those poor mutts that, end up staying out there for a very, very, very long time. I mean, they're good-natured pups, but the longer they're in a cage, the more it affects them. And, I mean, at the end of the day, we're paying to keep them in a cage, for 30 days. And, I don't think anybody would want to stay in a cage out there for 30 days.
Thank you.
Yeah, Karen, because you said Tim asked for 45 days and Teresa just added it up and that came to 75. How do we land on 75?
I'm sorry?
You said Tim asked for 45 days, Tim Pilblad?
Yes.
The warden asked for 45 days, Teresa just added up and
Well,
we got to
August,
75.
November.
No, right now, the resolution shows 75
Yeah,
days. That's
so-
what it
does it
shows.
really?
Just tells how we got
Yeah.
there. that's all.
Well, my math skills are off, so it should be 45 days. So I
Oh,
think I looked
no.
at the calendar
Yeah, but
wrong.
nobody, that's why we're here having our public discussion.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I said, I'm happy going to not only December, maybe going to February when we have the next discussion on when we recalculate fees. Is that what you're telling me? The next time we have to recalculate the fees for the year? No? Oh, Teresa's not.
Well, you'd have to, they're doing that study right now, but you have to have public hearings and everything.
Oh, do you?
Use fees and do stuff like that, so the fee not necessarily will change automatically.
Can we correct it to the 45?
You can do anything, yeah,
Whatever you
You can modify the
You can
date.
modify, yeah, we can modify it till December 31st.
Modify it, but,
You've been abundantly clear on
Yeah.
December 31st.
Okay, I just want to make sure you guys heard me.
If I
I
may,
don't know if you
Mr.
heard me.
President, I think the 75 days gives Karen and the study and Dan plenty of time to exercise their due diligence.
Sure, we do.
Okay, well, my guidance would be that, we've got to alleviate a temporary problem. And I don't want to do it with a permanent solution unless we think that this is a permanent problem. Okay? So at the end of the day, if 45 days opens up 10 spaces in the kennel and we got some breathing room, then we've accomplished what we came to do. We could always go longer, but this is an urgent problem, and as I'm being told, and I'm concerned if we went 75 days or the end of the year, that the public might not feel the urgency to go out and take a look and adopt a dog. I'd like to see us have that urgency so that we alleviate this as soon as possible. That's my thought on the subject.
If somebody wants to donate, how much, like, the newspapers covered our Tuesday meeting. And actually, I got a phone call this morning, that somebody wants to give us $1,000 because they saw the need that we have an overpopulated pound. So would they just write out to the county or to the dog pound? Because it was kind of odd. It was like they called me up, want to write a check for $1,000,
Either's fine. We can get it to either way.
Okay,
Lorain County Treasurer, Lorain County Dog Kennel, any of those fine.
okay. As long as it goes to the appropriate department,
Hopefully it won't take us 60 days to take money in.
Wow.
We're pretty good at that.
Mr. President, may I ask one more question?
Yes.
Casey, I know we've discussed this before, I just don't remember where we ended up on it. Are they able to do the electronic payments over there yet?
No, we've continued to hit some snafus with the credit card processing over there. But that is certainly something we're still.
Yeah, and maybe this time could be used to kind of cattle prod Mr. Telerik to get it done. Did I say that?
Yeah, you said that out loud. You said it out loud.
My comment would be that since Karen and Tim have spent this time putting together the 45 days, and I'm hopeful that we're going to get positive press out of this, this gives us another opportunity between now and 45 days to have another viable discussion, more positive press, more dogs going out of the kennel on this free things. But if you take it out to 75 or till the end of the year, Commissioner Moore, I would prefer to go to 45 days so that we can continue this discussion and talk about how successful the program is.
I'd like to support staff as well. We always can go longer, you just can't go shorter once you do what you do. Mr. Petticord, how would we, do I have to vote no on the message because we have 75 days, can we amend this?
I think Commissioner Hahn probably knows this, well, I think she's done it before you. I think you make a motion to amend
I'm the
the
one,
resolution.
yeah, but I'm the one that made the motion, so I'll amend it, right?
You make a motion to
Yeah.
amend it, second, and then amend it to 45 days. And then
And Teresa's calculating.
October
It
1st.
should be October
October
1st.
1st.
Yeah.
That'd be 45 days.
So I have a feeling if I make my motion to amend it to the end of the year, I'll probably die. Just thought I'd ask.
It would surprise us if you didn't make something up.
I'm gonna save it. I'll save everybody some time. I'll make my amendment. It's October 1st instead of November 1st.
I'll second that.
Is there any further discussion? Commissioner Moore?
Yep.
Commissioner Dow?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yep.
Okay.
We look forward to your report
Well-
towards the end of September.
Now,
You need a second.
I do,
now
but
we
I-
need to- that amends the
As
motion, now we
amended.
vote, now we vote on the main motion, or you vote on the main motion. So,
You ready?
Hmm?
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you. Thank
Good
you for the
work.
discussion and with Tim and figuring it all out.
Who says we can't accomplish something in 3 days?
Under solid waste, number 12, reject all bids received on August 7, 2024 for the Lorain County Collection Center latex paint collection program, which the bids were 20% more than the estimated, and authorize the rebid of this project.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Dow?
Aye.
Number 13, common pleas, enter an MOU with Ohio Alcohol Monitoring Systems LLC Independence, allowing adult probation to utilize a third-party drug testing services for the court. This is effective for 5 years, commencing on September 1st of 24 with a 60-day cancellation clause.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Discussion. Judge?
Well,
No? Court administrator, there we go.
she is more powerful than that.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, wow.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Pettigord. Currently, the probation department has about 1,500 individuals under supervision. Over the course of a year, they conduct about 10,000 drug tests. Those drug tests help to ensure that the individuals are monitoring or complying with their conditions, helps with safety for the community. And currently, the process that we had was going to be ending, and it just made sense to find another agency that could help us with the testing, because it takes a lot of time for that drug testing, and the probation officers really shouldn't be doing those 10,000 tests. I want to thank the prosecutor's office for the help with the MOU. They were very instrumental in helping to get it together, and this will actually be a cost savings at the end of the year for the probation department.
Questions from the board? Thank you for the explanation.
And thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh.
anything further? Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Odell?
Aye.
Under Domestic Relations, 14, approve and amend the agreement between the Board of Commissioners and Ohio Department of Job and Family Services for Title IV-E Federal Financial Participation on behalf of Lorain County Domestic Relations Court Juvenile Division. This amendment is to include the Federal Award Identification Number, add the Ohio Department of Children and Youth as a party to the agreement, replace the Medical Information Technology System to the Ohio Medicaid Enterprise System. This is effective retroactive to July 1st of 24 through June 30th of 25 to receive the federal reimbursements for Title IV administrative, training, and foster care maintenance costs. All reimbursement funds shall be deposited in Domestic Relations 4E fund account.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion?
Now, Judge.
No.
No?
Kristen Richardson.
Kristen? I thought we were.
You're trying to promote all these judges here.
The judges must be adjudicating.
Thank you, Commissioners. So like Teresa said, this is a 3-year sub-grant agreement. It was originally approved in 2023. Governor DeWine created a new agency called the Ohio Department of Children and Youth. And this new agency combines 6 different agencies, one of which is the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services, who was listed as the original party on the agreement. So due to this change, this party was added to this sub-grant agreement through the amendment. The federal award identification numbers were also added, and then there was a change to the Ohio Medicaid Enterprise System. So these are just the clerical changes to the agreement that we're asking for.
Very good. Questions?
No.
Nope. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for
Thank you.
coming in.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Dow?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
County Administrator update.
Wake up.
She's so quick. No, August 8th, we had a opportunity of meeting with Lieutenant Governor Husted out at Lorain Community College, and that meeting was make a presentation to him from our 6119 Regional Sewer District Group to bring him all the knowledge that we have and where we are in the process. Also, President Marcia Ballinger had the opportunity to talk about what was going on at Lorain Community College and the support of how they supported us and we supported them. That presentation, again, was done by Lou, or not Lou, but by Megan, and which presented in the presentation, created a lot of questions that the Lieutenant Governor had, and they were absolutely all positive. His comment was that regionalism is really where the state of Ohio and the Ohio EPA is going, and we're ahead of the curve. So it was a very successful meeting. We only had a half an hour. Rob Duncan, our Economic Community Development Director, had the next half an hour at the college with the Economic Development Directors in the county from the other cities, and I know that meeting was very successful, and that presentation was done by Lieutenant Governor Husted to them, and they were able to ask questions back and forth beyond just the regional sewer district. I don't think there was any discussion on that. Most recently, yesterday, with regards to the regional sewer district, we are preparing or getting the agreements and all the things necessary, all the documents, legal documents necessary to start the presentation, public presentations of the 6119 to the members that are going to be part of it this fall. It's all on track, and we're hopeful that as presented, that we can have it before the Common Pleas judge this December, if not January 1st. So that completes my report, but the work is really going well with the regional sewer district and very positive comments from all.
And what's the purpose of going before the Common Pleas judge? Is there for any opposition? Is that what the purpose is?
It's an absolute requirement.
Right.
There's a whole procedure that you have to have. You have to have these public meetings.
Right.
With Lou on board, since he was part of the Northeast Ohio, he set that up and has done others, and that working with our prosecutor's office, you have to, there's a whole structure of what you have to do. Dan, you want to explain
You're
that?
effectively creating
Another entity.
a quasi-governmental entity
Right.
that's going to have independent discretion, almost always in the revised code. I don't know this administrative procedure the way Lou does, because he's been doing it. But generally speaking, thematically, that's what the revised code does. If you're gonna create an entity that's gonna exercise discretion, you're gonna at some point appear before a court to make sure that everything is put together correctly and that it's approved from that level. That's how the administrative process works here.
But who's going to represent us? Do we have the consultants going to?
Lou
Okay, Lou will be.
And
Okay.
our team would be part of that,
Okay.
part of that process to be able to answer the questions. And what's interesting, from what I understand and what I've not been told any differently, that anybody can come to this meeting. They don't have to be in Lorain County to object or to support. It's totally a public meeting, and they don't have to be impacted one way or another. They can just come and say, I don't like it, or I like it.
Now, do we have our public meeting? Are we going to have our hearings here, or is it just a judge is going to be doing the hearings
We would do it.
first?
I'm
right?
not sure exactly
That's what I
where
thought.
the public meetings are going to be held
Yes,
at this
they have-
point.
The board holds its public meetings.
Right.
There's a process. It will go through this board, and then it will effectively end up.
But when I heard we're looking at December, when do you think we'll start having the commissioners having theirs? That's what I'm trying to figure out here.
I'm
Probably
looking
like
at-
Let you know when we get there.
Okay.
Yeah. David.
I'm sorry, I'm right at the end. I'm trying to figure out.
Moore, there
Well,
is,
no, I wanted this done in June, Jeff. Come on, what's taking you so long?
I wanted it done last January,
I
but
know.
you've got all these procedures you gotta follow.
Okay.
That completes my report.
That concludes your report, but I'd like to, where are we at in our strategic plan?
Great, thank you, Commissioner. We concluded yesterday our 20th task force meeting. We had 4 locations around the county. We had 5 pillars that we discussed, had phenomenal community input. Over 300 residents continue to participate in this process. We will be reporting out October 22nd at the college. Dave Bureau is coming in from Future IQ to help make that presentation. We have had over 42 public meetings since we began this process regarding the strategic plan, from the initial think tank meetings all the way through yesterday's meetings. We are going to be engaging with the municipal economic development directors and Main Street organizations in September to get their feedback on the economic development component of the strategic plan. I can tell you that other counties are looking at doing strategic plans, but I can make a bold statement that I don't believe any of them are going to have 42 public meetings to engage the community the way this strategic plan has unfolded. I will also report that next Thursday, Lorain County will be presenting at the County Commissioners Association Summer Symposium on the value of strategic planning and what we've done. Cuyahoga County is currently doing a strategic plan. I've been approached by another Northeast Ohio county who are looking at doing something similar, and they're soliciting our input as to our process and how we may be able to provide some guidance with them. So I think that's a positive impact the positive impact we've had on the process, which I believe is why the CCO asked us to come present to the other 87 counties on what we're doing. So the process is moving along very nicely. We've received, off the top of my head, between the 5 pillars that we discussed, between short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 70 to 80 goals that we will be working on once the process continues to move forward, because obviously we've solicited the input of the community. Now we need to execute on the goals and objectives. So that'll begin after October, after we roll out the plan. So stay tuned for that. And we still haven't addressed the first 2 pillars that deal with the consolidation, not the consolidation, but the input regarding government operations. We'll begin that process in January.
Amen. Thank you. This would be a good time. We're coming down the home stretch of this. We're rounding third, headed for the home plate. And I would like to thank my assistant, John Gall, stepping up and volunteering and becoming Dave's associate. And he was involved in all 42 of those meetings. And at the same time, I'm very proud of the staff. They closed ranks and filled in the gaps and allowing us to do this project without having to add additional employees. So shout out to Amy Marcel and to Chris Kish for helping me through things when John was with Dave and not available to help me do his job for me. So, but again, to the whole staff who closed ranks and are doing a great job at rising to the occasion.
Yeah, Mr. President.
Yes.
So Casey, I talked to you before the meeting. I couldn't remember what the topic was, and then the topic just went into my head. So I tried texting you to see if you were ready for it, and you were playing with your phone but didn't answer me. Oh, okay. Are you good, or should we push off to the next meeting? Shall I just dive in and we could maybe?
Now you gotta tell us.
Yeah, no, I guess we gotta air transparency. So, anyways, with the 2023 audit and the state auditor wanting to have a closing meeting, and I know the email just came in yesterday, so it may be a little premature to be asking you about this. How are we doing with the push to the finish to get what they need?
So again, so as far as the state auditor process as a whole, I'm not real familiar with where things stand as a whole. I know there's a particular piece that I've been working with the state auditor on, so I'm comfortable speaking about my part, but not the process as a whole. But like I said, I have been working with the state auditor, and I hope to have the last piece back to him today. So that will hopefully close our loop. As far as the process as a whole for the county, I'm
Right.
not familiar with that.
Yeah, we're just a tiny piece, and we were held up last year due to a cow, so hopefully we get this closed down.
Speaking of Fair Week.
Yeah, speaking of Fair Week, right, it was due to a cow, but,
Very good.
anyways.
Anything else?
No, can I just go back to Mr. Greenspan for a minute?
You sure can.
He mentioned October 27th. That is a Sunday.
Second.
22nd.
22nd. Okay, I just want to clarify. That would
Good
be
catch.
a Tuesday. Thank you.
Thank you.
Which we do, just to let the board know, we do have an IAC meeting scheduled at 11 o'clock that day, so.
A what?
Investment
Investment, yeah.
advisory, it was on the
Oh,
schedule.
okay.
So, okay.
Last week.
Yeah, we're not gonna meet on Sunday. There's no overtime.
I just
in
want to
this
make sure, I
project.
thought I heard it, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I have no report for correspondence.
Move to waive the reading?
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Hahn?
Yes.
Commissioner Dell?
Aye,
Is there any new business?
I don't believe so.
No? Okay. Public comment?
Public comment, Mike Sherman? Good morning.
Thank you, Commissioners. Good morning. I apologize for my voice. I was working up in that state up north last week and got some crud, I guess, from the air up there. I was out of town and unable to attend Tuesday's board meeting, but did watch it on YouTube. Of particular interest to me was Mr. Baker's 3-month quest to obtain producible public records. 3 months' time cannot be defined as a timely or responsive by anyone's definition. The law says promptly, without delay, with reasonable speed. To that end, I would like to refer to you a resource that I use that may be of some assistance to you. It's called the Ohio Sunshine Laws by David Yost, the Ohio Attorney General. It's an open government resource manual of 134 pages. It includes the Ohio Public Records Act, all about public records, the Ohio Open Meetings Act, how to run a meeting, how to call for an executive session, etc. I just wanted to offer that and see if that could be of any use to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Michael?
Michael DeCarlo, 320 Alberta Vermilion. Good afternoon, or good morning, Mr. President, Commissioners. Before I start, because I only got 2 minutes, I don't want to, I'd like to see if I get a consensus here that there's an issue in North Ridgeville regarding the shooting that occurred there in May. Can we get a consensus that there's an issue with that? All right, if we can get there, then the issue may not be that we have jurisdictional prowess or not. I would say to you, multi-jurisdictional agreements give us all the power that we need, Mr. President. And I'm here to make sure that there's money for an investigation, because when I go make a report, right? Tyranny, fraud, waste, abuse, whatever. And they say there's no money for the investigation. I'm gonna say, I just saw the president of the board said there's plenty of money to conduct an investigation. That's how I see this working out. And this isn't, this is a hanging offense, right? But when I was active duty, I committed a hanging offense. I should have walked the plank. I endangered 150, actually 300 people's lives. I had 2 submarines too close together, and I was the guy in charge. But when I stood in front of the man, accused of I was able to provide documentation that I verified. Ranges were open, safety was met, there was no harm to the ship. So you know what happened to me, Mr. President? I went back to work, right? I mean, like I said, it's a hanging offense. We're not building gallows yet. But I think Mr. Baker back there may have the Carpenters Union on speed dial, so that if the folks want to hang together, we can wait a while and hang them separately. Have a great afternoon, and have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
At this juncture, I would make a motion to go into executive session for the discussion of personnel matters.
As stated by the clerk, I think we can also go in discussion and discuss potential litigation at the same time.
Second.
Any discussion? Commissioner Dell?
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
That concludes this portion of the meeting. We don't have a personnel summary sheet.
Commissioner Moore hasn't voted yet.
Oh.
Aye.
I will tell, now that you voted, I will tell you, Dave, I was at a library board meeting last night, and one of the, and they, it's a 7-person board. 6 people voted to go into executive session, and one guy said no, he got up and stormed out and left. So, it's always an option.
I remember those days.
Okay. Victor.
My phone's on silent, that's why I didn't hear.
Commissioners have reconvened from executive session.
Move to adjourn.
Second,
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Hung.
yes.
Commissioner Dell.
All right.
We're adjourned.